word is going to be parallel lines. Now, hopefully most of you know the definition for parallel lines. Parallel lines are two lines that will never intersect. The reason I'm bringing up parallel lines today, it's not necessarily that you don't know the definition. Hopefully all of you know the definition of parallel lines. I want to show you the notation of it. In this book, they'll label the lines line 1 and line 2. Unlike an exponent that appears in the upper corner, when they're labeling, they use subnumbers. Okay, oftentimes when you have a number off to the small side, that is a subnumber and it's for labeling purposes. If you already know what parallel lines are, that's fine. It still needs to go in your vocabulary book. Okay? The other thing you need to know about parallel lines, it is also notated in some books with a little arrow attached to the two lines. If you see this symbol on two lines, it means that those two lines are parallel to one another. This is different from how our book is going to note them, however you need to know this. Okay. This book also writes a sentence written like this. Line 1 is parallel to line 2. Okay, this means line 1 is parallel So not only do you have to know the definition of parallel lines, because they're going to use this a lot in this book, you have to understand all the notation that goes with it. This needs to be in your book. Okay. Any questions on that? Everybody has the pictures and all the notations? All right, our next word is transversal. Transversal is a line that intersects two lines. Is it possible that this line is a transversal? No, it only passes through one other line. What about this one?
No.
Nope, also only passing through one line. So the only transversal on the page is right here. This is the only line that intersects two other lines. Any questions on transversal? Pause.
Go.
Now, it's very important that you know when you have a transversal, because all of the relationships between angles exist when you have a transversal. When you have one line that's cutting through two other lines, it creates a whole set of relationships between angles. The first angle relationship we're going to talk about is called alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles are angles on opposite sides of the transversal. And on the outside.
This is the definition.
Yeah. Of the lines. Okay? So if I have angle 1 right here, it is outside the two parallel lines, or the two lines, and its alternate exterior angle would be what numbered angle? Angle 1 and angle, what is it? 4. Okay? These two angles are on opposite sides of the transversal, on the outside of the two lines that the transversal is cutting through. Do I have another set of alternate exterior angles? What two angles? Okay. Angle 2 and angle 3 are also alternate exterior angles. Are angles 1 and 3 alternate exterior angles? No, because they're on the same side of the transversal. That alternate word means that they're on opposite sides of the transversal. Exterior means they're to the outside of the two lines that the transversal cuts. Any questions on that definition? Okay. Our next word, very similar, is going to be alternate interior angles. It has much of the same definition, only what he's supposed is going to change. They will be inside the line. These are the angles that are inside the two lines that are cut by the transversal. They are still the ones on the opposite sides of the transversal. Again, angle 1 will be an alternate interior angle. 2, angle
3, 4.
4, because they're on opposite sides of the transversal. And angle 2 will be an alternate interior angle to angle 3. No, I'm not. You haven't started, have you? Don't start. We have one more set of angles where we need to talk about the relationship. These are called corresponding angles. Okay? Corresponding angles are angles on the same side of the transversal. In corresponding positions. So for corresponding angles, for example, if I were to number all 8 of my angles this time, angle 1 and angle 5 are corresponding angles because both of them are to the left side of the transversal and both of them are on top of their particular line. Okay? Can anyone find another pair of corresponding angles that fit the definition of being on the same side of the transversal and corresponding parts? Fernetti.
2 and 6.
Okay? Angle 2 and angle 6 are corresponding angles. Any others?
4 and 8.
Angle 4 and angle 8 are corresponding angles. And the final one?
3 and 7.
Angle 3 and angle 7. Any questions on the definition of this one? Now we're going to turn tail a little bit. We're going to learn about 2 more vocabulary words before we're done with the book. These particular definitions are going to be what is going to form all the rules about the relationship between the angles that we have learned about. So, the first one is a vertical angle. Okay? Vertical angles are 2 angles on opposite side of intersecting lines. This picture is slightly different than the one we had before. Before we had a transversal cutting through 2 lines. Here I just have 2 lines intersecting. And vertical angles are angles that are on opposite sides of those intersecting lines. Okay, for example, angle 1 and angle 4 in this picture are vertical lines or vertical angles, and angle 3 and angle 2 are vertical angles.
Try it ever again.
Okay, final angle, relationship, supplementary angles. You should have learned these from Ms. Driscoll last year. Supplementary angles are angles whose sum is 180 degrees. Okay, so in this particular case, we have angle 1 and angle 2 would be supplementary angles. Together, they create a straight line equaling 180 degrees. We have angle 3 and angle 4, whose sum creates 180 degrees because together they create a straight line. Do I have any other supplementary angles on this page? Kamsula? 1 and what?
3.
1 and 3 are also supplementary angles. Because here, these two lines together create a straight line. Dylan?
And 2 and 4.
Angle 2 and angle 4 are supplementary angles. Now, at the beginning of this lesson, I've kind of bombarded you with a whole bunch of vocabulary. The reason I did that is because if you were to look at our student outcome for the day or for this lesson, I need to be able, or you need to be able to, students know what corresponding angles, alternate interior angles, and exterior angles of parallel lines are equal. And you know that when these pair of angles are equal, that the lines are parallel. Well, in order for me to teach that, you have to know what I'm talking about when I use these words. So in order for us to reach our student outcomes, we first have to have the definitions. I'm going to give you an exploratory assignment for the day. It is classwork number 1 out of your student packet for lesson 12. It is your assignment for tomorrow. You are going to find the measure degree of angles. We'll come back tomorrow and we'll come up with these rules.